to buy. An assassin. And my mentor.
So you're all part of some daffy religion?
We're assassins and we follow a creed, aye.
Thank you to Ubisoft for providing me the game to make this review possible. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced is the revival of a classic game in the franchise, and it is developed and published by Ubisoft. With Assassin's Creed Shadows being a hit and miss for some people, Ubisoft decided to do what Nintendo is doing right now, give fans a remake of a beloved classic and call it a day. But was Black Flag the right game to remake, or should it have been one of the earlier games in the franchise instead? Only one way to find out, so let's loot some treasure. Gameplay. I'll admit that I haven't been as huge of an Assassin's Creed fan as I used to be, but What was that? Never mind. Like I was saying, I'm not as big of a fan as I was during the original trilogy's run, and not even really because the franchise got bad or anything like that, but when they started to move this franchise into more of an annual franchise, my love for it kind of died off. Sure, I dabbled into it here and there, in the off chance that I either got the opportunity to do so with early previews, reviews, or just picked it up myself because I was curious about a new entry based off of word of mouth, but honestly, it just wasn't the same, you know? It's like when you're heavily into a franchise and then it suddenly changes into something that you just don't vibe with. That's how I felt, and to be quite frank, it's basically the same relationship that I have right now with the Tomb Raider franchise, with myself being a huge fan of the OG Tomb Raider games, and even Anniversary and Underworld, but then absolutely hating what they did to Lara and her character with the Survivor trilogy. Ugh, it makes me want to vomit. I'll leave that disdain for another day though, or the next time I speak about Slippy. But even with my feelings towards the franchise becoming wilted, a game came along on Wii U of all places that spoke to me personally with things that I liked, sailing and pirates. As a huge fan of the Pirates of Caribbean and having got into One Piece, the premise alone by itself won me over and made this version of Assassin's Creed. Okay, what is that? Is this going to happen every single time I say the word Creed? Assassin? Pirates? Assassin pirates? Assassin's Creed. Ugh, whatever, moving on. The game, much like I thought, spoke to me better than anything has since its release, having been an improvement over what I played with the third entry into the franchise. And instead of going to a big city or crowded neighborhood like previous titles, this time the entire scenery shifts to that of a gigantic sailable Caribbean seas that allows you to explore at your leisure, be your own captain, have your own ship, build your own base, and teach would-be naysayers that this is the day they shall always remember as the day that they almost caught Captain Game and Chick Sparrow. Too bad I'm not as smooth as Jack Sparrow though. I just wind up failing and embarrassing myself. Comes with the territory, really. When the remake was first announced, I got pretty hyped to be honest, cause come on, a remake with a new engine to one of my favorite Assassin's Creed— one of my favorite entries into the franchise. Ha! I didn't say the word Creed that time, you jerk!
Actually, you did say it.
Wait. Dang it! In Black Flag, you follow along the hero of the game, Captain Edward Kenway, a marooned pirate in the Caribbean. After murdering a man because he took the last sip of rum after a brief altercation, our so-called hero assumes the man's identity and gets involved with Templars. Who could have seen that one coming, right? As far as murdering the guy, I know it wasn't really over rum, but still, I saw the way he looked at me, so he deserved it anyways. He's lucky this is a Ubisoft game and not a game from Codemasters in 2007 like Overlord. Otherwise, I would have ended up peeing on him and going, "For the massa!" Confused? Sorry, you just had to be there, that's all I'm saying. If you're expecting this version of Black Flag to have a ton of new content or changes to its story and overall gameplay, in a similar manner that Capcom did for the Resident Evil 4 remake, then you'll probably be disappointed, considering Resynced is pretty much a one-for-one remake of the original Black Flag, similar to the way that the recent Star Fox remake was about one-to-one of Star Fox 64, so that may dampen people's spirits a little bit if you didn't know that. Throughout the game, you will follow the same story beats that you're used to, with the, at least for me, slow-paced start that may deter new players a bit, but don't worry, the pace is only roughly a few hours of what people would consider a slog. And nothing, I mean absolutely nothing, like people that tell you, oh, it's better after 30 hours, when they talk about Final Fantasy XIII. Do yourself a favor, find the soundtrack to the game, put it on for a few hours, and there you go. You've experienced the best part of the game without having to play it. You're welcome. In relation to Black Flag with my little rant, the slowdown doesn't last very long, since soon you'll be making your way through multiple episodic adventures that have you encounter a ton of famous pirates that you have definitely heard of before, which immerses you even further into the game's lore, because even you two will sit up from your recliner and point at your screen and go, I know that guy! Whenever you spot someone of interest. It's pretty damn awesome. Even though I stated earlier that you shouldn't expect drastic or even big changes to the story, again, similar to Capcom's Resident Evil remakes, that's not to say that there isn't new content to enjoy in this remake. But what I more so meant was drastically new content that alters the narrative. No Force Ghosts, so don't worry. Square Enix's poison won't be falling into this water well of Assassin's Creed this go around. Oh my god, dang it! Okay, maybe this is worse than the Force Ghost. I take it back! There are several new side quests to take part in that add to your overall experience if you got tired of just focusing on Edward's story, and I feel these side quests should be mandatory for both newcomers and even people who played the original Black Flag 2, since not only do you learn way more about other characters in these extra side quests that can make you relate to them, feel for them, or even get angry at them, but you get some depth to the stuff that maybe isn't present in the main story, depending on where you're at in said story. The addition of new officers and side storylines are also a welcome drawback from the main campaign as well, and offer a pretty good chunk of time off of the beaten path should you choose to want to complete them. And if you choose to lose track of time and say, screw it, I'm a pirate, I do what I want, then prepare your scallywag self for at least 7 to 8 hours of extra content just from these side storylines. It might not be as in-depth as the main story with Edward and its advances, but I think a lot of people could find these more fun than the main campaign itself due to how well it's fleshed out. But uh-oh, what about combat? How the heck did they screw it up? I can already hear it now, the loud screeching in the halls of social media. Well, honestly, they didn't screw it up at all. Utilizing both the franchise's long-standing stealth routes alongside your hidden blades, you still remain as sneaky, murderous, rampaging jerkface as you've ever been. Using the new loadout system, which now instead of using your traditional skill tree, now in turn takes your abilities and perks you obtain, and instead sends them to your overall equipment or to your swords as you vary your own personal combat between parrying, regular melee, and short-range pistols in whatever combination of attack you feel like using after you obtain some fun perks and abilities to go along with it. I chose to stick with pistols, swords, and blow darts personally, because I get to act out my inner Ace Ventura on people in moments of hilarity. But aren't we forgetting something? I could have sworn there was something else people loved about the original. I feel it's important too. I can feel it. I can feel it like it's right in my neck! Yes, I'm referring to good old ship combat. It's back and just as badass as ever, with assaults on forts, awesome cosmetics, boarding other ships, and blowing ships up just in general out of the damn water just because you choose to do so. But I'd also be careful about that one as well, because if you get too canon happy, just like me, and you get a little too into becoming captain as you blast Pirates of the Caribbean theme over your speakers with the excitement getting to you, you'll end up running into some 5-star ships right from the onset of your adventures. And I'll just say it now, you'll soon be ending up in Davy Jones' locker alongside me, savvy? Overall, at the end of the day, Black Flag Resynced was still a great time. I won't say it exceeded my expectations or overblow it, but I can definitely say that at the very least, it met my expectations, which was exactly what it needed to do, especially for somebody who loved the original version. Is it perfect? I mean, no, not really, since the Animus hub is pretty much the same as Shadows alongside the Battle Pass. It's not mandatory and you can bypass them, but still, as a principle, people will get annoyed by it. Character models outside the main hero is still a bit on the iffy side if I'm going to be completely honest with you. They aren't very good and some are outright hideous, so I'm not really sure what was going on with some of them. However, with all of the fun and expansive side quests, intense ship battles that lets you take ownership of the high seas, improved abilities and perks towards equipment, gorgeous environments that make sailing around the world to find both rum and the One Piece a sight to behold, and honestly makes you wonder, why the heck didn't they just do this earlier? Why did they even go through the troubles and headache of Skull and Bones when Black Flag is obviously the superior pirate game? Who knows? But what I do know, if you're a fan of the original and need a quality game to get your pirate fix with, then Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced is definitely a must pick up. So with all that having been said, my verdict is clear. Game and Chick says bye now. Oh god, I said the word again. You know what? Fine. You can just be the outro. I don't even care anymore!
Get over here!